Hello everyone!
Welcome back.
Welcome back to our review of Glen 2 Chronicles. We just played a full game of it, so you can check out the links down in the description below if you want to check that out.
Yeah, we used just the base game for now, and we'll have a separate video for the Chronicles, just talking about them because they're a bit spoilerish, and we didn't wanna shove spoilers in your face. It's not nice.
Okay, so a lot to talk about, I think, because we can compare it to Glen 1.
Yeah. We have to compare it to Glen 1.
Okay, so you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So I love Glen 1. It's one of my favorite games. It was definitely on my top 10 list, though I don't remember if it was number 1 or not. You can check that out on our channel or in a link, or I don't know, but check that out. Anywho, it was one of my higher rated games. I love it, and this game does things a bit differently, and it's very difficult to compare because it loosens Glenmore up a bit. It makes it a lot less min-maxy, but it doesn't do it in a negative way. It makes it feel more like a modern board game, which is nice. So let me just explain that it's a bit difficult to conceptualize these thoughts, so I'm gonna try. Glenmore is very min-maxy. Like, if you put a tile and you put a tile next to it, you restrict the tile's activations. Like, in our playthrough, I maxed out my barley tile, and because of the new rules, I was able to overbuild and kind of expand on that. But in base Glenmore, when you place a tile, you have to think, how many points can I make off of that tile? How many can I not? I love it, but it does get a bit samey. And Glenmore also has two paths. You have the river and you have the road. And that also slightly restricts you, changing the value of tiles, because you both can't build like across. You're much more restricted in your building. Here you can just kind of expand in one direction or expand in both directions, whereas in the base Glenmore you have to balance out the roads and the rivers and everything. So this definitely opens it up. But it also loses a bit of what I loved about Glenmore. I loved how tight the money is in Glenmore, because you have one card that gives you free coins, like 3 of them, and that's it.
No new money comes into the game. It all comes in and out of the market.
It is an extremely efficient zero-sum game, and racking up the value of resources that you have and other people don't have is a very valid and very enjoyable strategy. And in here, it's really not a big deal. You can use money for a lot of things. You can get money from a lot of things. So it loosened up the game, and it also made it a lot more conventional, which is a good thing. But it also means that it doesn't replace Glenmore. Like, the base game still feels very different, much more cutthroat than this. And I still love the base game. I just fully understand why they did this. It completely changes the feel and makes it samey, but also different enough to be enjoyable for a different audience. So yeah, that's for the changes. What do you think, honey?
So I think I'll leave the comparison to the end. We can talk about the arts and components first. Even regardless of the first game, I think they did an excellent job in terms of art. It looks very pretty, although it sort of needs to manage the everything is green and brown kind of challenge, but they did a very good job of it. I think the fact that all of the cards have different art on them, all of the tiles have different art on them
as well. It's cute, and I actually recognize some of them, which is also kind of cutesy, because they don't look like their real life counterparts, but they look like caricatures of them, so it's cute.
Yeah. And I think the components themselves are excellent. I mean, if you remember in the first Glenmore, which by the way is out of print, I think, but the first Glenmore, these resources were cubes.
Yeah, and we bought special meeples
by the way,
for the game.
Yeah, by the way, you can see our playthrough and review of Glenmore 1 if you want. But in this game, they decided to go with lovely meeples, and they even give you stickers to put on them. I think in the deluxe version of the Kickstarter. So that's all great. I like the fact that our meeples are our own color as opposed to Glenmore 1, which were just in the single color. And Yeah, so excellent work on the iconography and the fact that it stays language neutral.
Yeah, and it's really nice.
I mean, even in Glenmore 1, the description on the cards were text-based.
Yeah, we
and
had
everything here.
We had the game in German, I think.
Yeah.
So we had to go to something we printed out to realize what the cards actually were.
In terms of gameplay, I very much like... This is an excellent game, first of all, just right off the bat. I really like the addition of Overbuild. I think that's a smart decision.
Yeah.
Yep.
It breaks up the balance of the original game, but it adds a lot. It really adds a lot.
I also like the fact that in Glenmore 1, the game ended immediately when the last tile was displayed. But here, you have a little bit more control over it because you need to pass this tile. So you know when you're done. It's not a surprise. And you can even sell stuff to the market just before your last turn, which is excellent. I kind of am lukewarm on this part of the game. I do like the fact that we have another contest.
That does not increase your village size.
Exactly.
That's the important part. That's what makes it so fun.
Yeah, but I kind of think that the game would be just as good if the various bonuses were printed on the tiles themselves, as opposed to having this kind of minute decision of whether I want to go far or close. And I get that these are relatively closer, but again, they could just be on the tiles themselves for round A, and as we move further away, they could have be printed on B, C, and D.
It makes it very opportunistic, but not deep. You pick up a person and you're like, oh, can I get points off of this? I can, good. I can't, fine, I'll get resources. It's not a very tactical decision.
Yeah, so it's not a very big negative at all. I'm just saying that if the board could have been just this and then the tiles would have been here, I think the game would have felt more cohesive and as opposed to, well, there's another thing going on here.
And then they would have been similar to the location tiles.
Exactly. So again, that's okay. What else can I say? We've played it with 3, which was just as great as 2, I think. So yeah, that's... Yep.
It goes what, up to 5 players?
I think it goes up to 4.
The base game was fun. The original game was 5, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
So I think you covered everything. Like this is a very good game. We really like it. It does not replace the original Glenmore.
So for me, it kind of does. I much prefer this one to base Glenmore, just because of the overall feel and atmosphere and components, and the fact that it's not as punishing as Glenmore 1.
Yeah, Glenmore 1 is a bit cutthroat.
Yeah, it's just cutthroat, but punishing in terms of sort of not optimal decisions. Thanks to the overbuild, thanks to these guys. So I much prefer Glenmore 2.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad if you can't have the out-of-print Glenmore 1.
Oh yeah, in Glenmore 1, when you had a higher player count, a good player could exploit the fact that there are weaker players at the table, like seeing someone incapable of getting whiskey, and you just start racking up whiskey, and then you win by having someone who's less experienced at the table, which isn't as fun. I mean, it's interesting, but it's not as fun. Whereas here you have many options to bridge the gap. You can get whiskey from here, you can get resources from here, you can get people. It's varied and it's interesting.
Okay. So...
highly recommended from both of us.
Yes. And check out the playthrough if you want to. Check out the review of the 8 Chronicles if you want to.
Yeah, we'll be doing all 8 Chronicles.
And if you want us to film a playthrough of one of those or more of those Chronicles, let us know in the comments below. We'll definitely do that.
If there's any of them that interest you, we'll make a special playthrough for you. Just tell us. So 8 Chronicles, you say, but I think it's more like 7 because there's one we didn't get to.
Yeah, but we'll explain it nonetheless.
Yeah, it just won't be as much of a review.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
see you guys.
So we hope you enjoyed this video and review, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.